look, it's me.
Can you see
Oh,
you?
look, it's Anna.
How about sound?
It's me.
Can we hear you?
Are we on a delay?
Yeah. We're on a bit of a delay.
Oh yeah, because you were just walking into the room. All right. Now that this is set up, Lily, I'm gonna shelve this stuff. I'm gonna finish my work.
I'll be back. Kelly Jones.
Hi.
Hi. I did. I was like, this is like, that's fun. Healthy lunch. And then it's like, I'm not chilly right now, but I was like walking the dog, and I was like, I'm so hot. I'm
What?
again. Oh, look, goosebumps.
He's coming at 5, and then he's going to talk whenever. I think he'll probably be talking soon, because I think I had him in just after like the new officer stuff. So yeah, but I mean we can have him talk earlier if you want to hear, NCLA stuff.
Yum. I've never gone in there before. Well, I've been there once. And I was already like a chocolate malt and chocolate malt.
I think so. I'm checking that right now, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I'm already the primary on there,
They don't
and
really have to do anything. Like we've already covered everything. Although hot dogs I sometimes spoil. Or like I haven't had like the next person.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I'm already a primary contact, and we're both on there as head officers, which I guess now that you're graduating, like
It'll keep me going. Well, I'll have to get myself.
whenever I get time. So the next month or so, I need to go on, and I think I have to go through and remove everyone who's graduated, which Greg sent me a list of everyone who graduated. So, but I think I can go through and basically click a "this person graduated" button. So, yeah. But I don't know if it'll let me do that on your since you're a head officer or something. You probably have to do that.
Like to get stuff off. You have to get like whenever I take over.
Right.
And then you're gone. Whenever they switch to that one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It is like a month and a couple of weeks. I was saying like this.
There used to be like a 4-month limit.
So a couple people have signed up since I sent the.
Is England gone already? Not yet. They have to do another referendum. And then they'll decide. And then Scotland will leave. Unless they decide to not be stupid and stay. But who knows? The EU might not want to. Like, there was other things. Might be like, yeah, I was reading something about that. Yeah, and they were like, what if we don't want you back? Like, but like, it's something with the microwave thing. It's like, if someone votes out, they don't necessarily.
Thank you for being here.
No problem.
I'm excited to have you.
Hey, we got no time.
Is Kristen okay? She's good. Oh.
I don't think I've ever been on this one.
Is that sticker on your laptop? Like,
Sure.
Sniffy or is it a fake Sniffy? Which one?
Nope, I didn't. I got my keys.
I'll make sure that this room ends up.
All right, I like that. Mike, Lily should be doing a proposal for NCLA, right?
That was due today, and I'm on
You need
vacation.
to be doing it today.
Is it due day?
Yeah.
You have it ready, right? I mean, it's the one, let's do the same one, right?
Yeah, I can probably do that. I can.
She's doing
I
a
can do it
poster
tonight.
presentation at LA.
Oh, cool. Wow, that's great.
But they haven't called posters yet, so
I'm gonna talk about that.
okay. I don't know if I should submit it as another poster or if I should submit it as a session. Because it's sessions that are due today. Posters haven't been opened yet.
Right. You can do either one, but I mean, I think it's enough, I think there's definitely enough substance to it to do
Yeah.
a session.
Gonna be a picture of my face. Oh no, it works. There we go. Maybe. All right, we'll just test audio real quick.
Yay.
We good?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait. The picture's coming again.
Okay.
Yay.
You good? All right.
Nothing like a good laugh.
Okay. Is everybody set? Okay. I don't know if you want to start.
All right. Hi. LISSA meeting. It's starting. Thank you all for coming. We have guests. So this is Mike Crumpton. He works in the University Libraries. And this is Dr. O'Connor. She is our head of our department. So hi, Jenny. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Greg
Great.
Myers.
Hi, Greg. I met you at the welcome day luncheon.
Yes.
And then we also have some of our new officers. Lily, she who will be replacing me. Yay! Kelly, she who will be replacing Ethan. Yay! Hannah, she who will be replacing Lily. And Morgan, who will be replacing Lindsay. So I guess this is just to wrap up everything for the year, kind of see where everyone's at as in regards to events and things that need to be done. Then also, Mike Crumpton would like to talk to us a little bit about NCLA. So yeah, I guess with officer reports, congrats, the year is over. We have successfully elected a new board. Lily attended the faculty meetings and she was able to attend the meetings that make it so that we will remain as a campus organization. So, woo-hoo. And yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I don't know that we have much in the way of additional officer reports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing has changed as far as the budget. We haven't spent any money or earned any new money. So,
Do you all still have?
and
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, so I attended the faculty meeting and the curriculum meeting, and there's some brief notes about it on the agenda if anyone is like super curious about any of that. Feel free to ask some questions and let me know. But yeah, I don't know that it's anything of immediate importance.
I don't have much to report as first year representative, other than we've just been working to make connections. Any people who are on-campus students, just continue to encourage you in your online classes and mixed classes to encourage your fellow students to join LISSA and be involved online at the LISSA meetings and in person. Have just kind of more generally been working to get some ideas about social activities and social get-togethers that students might be interested in pursuing maybe next year. So we can go down that road when we get to it. That's all I have.
Okay.
Also want to add, I've just added Hannah and Kelly to the LISSA docs. The rest of you have access.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
And LaQuanda, does Chase already added her?
Chase already added her.
Great. Do you want me to ask Chase online if he has anything to add?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Sure. Chase's officer report. I attended the recent faculty meeting and I spoke with 3 students who are interested in LISSA. I also met with LaQuanda to pass my secretary knowledge. Thank you, Chase.
All right.
And all of the social media information is in the LISSA documents.
Okay.
You already gave the first year report. So for the spring, do you want to push the prison books to the fall?
That I don't know. I threw that on there because I feel like we never really.
I emailed Lindsay earlier this month or end of April, and I never got a definitive response.
Okay. I mean, I just didn't want to totally like never talk about it again because I feel like we talked about it a lot, and then just I don't know if it's something that we want to try to do in the fall.
I think there was some like difficulties with policy thing or something.
And transportation,
transportation.
I think was probably the
And
yeah.
because they're in Durham and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, because the way that their schedule works is we wouldn't be able to get people, like we wouldn't be able to fill out the forms and have people there and have a set time.
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Organize.
Right.
So is there something, if there's something that you guys want to do that's similar to that, like a book drive or something like that?
Right.
That's
So-
possible.
Okay.
We had talked about
That's what we talked about.
a supply
but-
drive, or because you were asking them what supplies that they would.
Yeah, it was
need.
email. I think it was
Okay.
I sent it to you and Lindsay, and
Yeah.
followed up. But I don't think it was
Okay.
like a final response, so I can try again.
We could, yeah, I mean, maybe it's something we could revisit over the summer, see if we can't get some sort of at least idea of what they need from us, and just say we're still willing to work with you, but in this a little bit more of a limited
Right.
capacity.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Or there may be some other organization in Greensboro that might
Yeah.
be some other kind of community
And
involvement.
we had
that
talked
could-
about like, some of the refugee organizations.
Mhm.
So that might be if the prison books isn't just working out, then see what materials we could support them in doing maybe in the fall.
Yeah, so we can revisit that.
So what was the particular problems with the
So
prison?
Prison Books was an organization, Lindsay Spray, who is our social media manager. She has a connection with there, and they're based out of Durham.
There's one in Durham.
Okay.
But yeah, they're Durham and Orange County.
So we originally were trying to schedule a work day, which was going to be on a Sunday, to go down and from what I understand, they kind of have like a warehouse of books, and incarcerated individuals send them lists of books that they would like sent to them, and then the volunteers work to match the books that they have to those lists, and then box them up and help get them sent out. But the university is somewhat is not restrictive, but very particular about traveling as a group, and there's quite a number of forms that need to be filled out ahead of time. And
any travel outside of Greensboro takes about 8 weeks or so. A person who's traveling outside of Greensboro as a student has to fill out a form, in addition to an entire group form that has to be filled out and approved in advance. So you have to have very specific information really far in advance, which for this group was difficult to coordinate because they don't really schedule specific volunteer days that far ahead of time.
They just have open work days every
Right.
Sunday.
Right.
Got it.
When volunteers are able to be in this space.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now they're in the middle of a very new space because the space is running out
Yeah.
this spring.
so it got very complicated very quickly.
Yeah.
So we were trying to find some alternative workarounds to that, and one of which was doing like a supply drive or a book drive to help support them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think revisiting that for the fall, see if we can find out anything over the summer, and then go from there.
Okay. And then updating our roster. I have a list from Greg of all the graduates. So over the next few weeks, I'll go through and check that against our list of registered members and on the Spartan Connect website, and I can mark who's graduated, and they will kind of remove those people from the Spartan Connect. So if you are a member of LISSA or would like to be a member of LISSA and you are not on Spartan Connect, you have to join Spartan Connect. Just as an aside, I think I probably put that later on the thing, but That's a new thing with campus activities. Anyone who's involved with the student group has to sign up through Spartan Connect, and you just sign in with your regular UNC username and password, and then you select the group you want, and you just hit like join group. So I think we probably need to update maybe on our website or send out a link to where you go to sign up for that. Yeah, if anyone needs to sign up for that. And then once everyone is registered as a member, then I can go through and assign officer positions and everything through there as well.
And we only need to do it once, or we need to do it every academic year?
Only once, only one time, and then you'll be in there, and then you'll get removed once you graduate.
And was there's still some talk about moving the LISSA WordPress to?
So that's
or is that further
I guess
down the
that's
agenda? We can wait.
yeah, that may be further. I think that's further down the agenda. Yeah, that's down at the bottom. But
Okay,
if we
no
wanna
worries.
Talk about it now. We don't have to.
I can wait. I'm patient.
So yeah, updating new members, and we'll kind of cross-check those lists and see who's still listed as a member, and then work on getting new members for the fall too. So.
Are we still doing the thing that when you enter the program, you're automatically in LISSA? Because that's what happened this year with new students. And then
So
Greg kind of added us slowly as we let them know that we.
the way that campus activities and programs is doing student groups now, we can't automatically add.
Okay.
What I can do is I can, on Spartan Connect, I can put an email on there into our group, but it won't add you to that group until you go and click yes, I want to join this, right? So each person would have to respond to that. So you're not officially a member of LISSA unless you sign up on Spartan Connect, as far as the university is concerned.
That's the way it was this year technically.
Yeah.
You all just decided to
But they were
click on our join us button on the website. And then Chase
It was-
and Greg added.
well, because they just were launching Spartan Connect
Yeah, it was
partway through
weird.
the year, and it was kind of confusing. And so, but the way they have it now, you have to join through the Spartan Connect thing, or otherwise you're not technically a member. So we could go through and manually put in all of those email addresses for all of the students if we had a list of all of those from Greg, but they would still have to go through and actually add themselves to it. They would have to click on the link through the email they get and manually accept the invitation. Yeah. Or we can just send them out an email link and they can sign up. So, I don't know what's probably the best way to do that. Yeah, so I guess that's another question too, is how do we want to, I guess, drive members for the fall, right?
Yeah,
Do we
I'm
want
not sure. I guess we should probably just touch on it before new student orientation
right?
for fall, because that's when it was mentioned to us new
Yeah.
coming students.
Mhm.
And last year the policy was by joining the program, you're in LISSA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we just need to make sure that we have it figured out by then.
Right. So
I think
we want to
sending-
make sure it's consistent. Yeah.
Sending out a follow-up email with the link, that would be nice, because that
Okay.
would be right in front of them. But all they
Right.
have to do is, sometimes going to find something
Right.
is just too daunting.
Yes. Right. Right. Yeah. So
Clicking
maybe
on a
we.
link, it might, just get people to do it.
Right. So maybe we present it. So maybe somebody can go to Welcome Day and talk about LISSA, and maybe I liked what we did last fall, where we had people talk to the 600 classes for
Yeah.
5 minutes. I think
Yeah.
that went really well. We got a lot of people signed up that way. And maybe we present it as, as far as we're concerned, everyone is a member of LISSA, but per the university's regulations, you really need to sign up on the website. So here's the link, and then we could send that out via an email to the listserv, and we could post it in the 600 classes and on the welcome day. And then people could go in, because it's really easy. You really just have to sign in and then click join.
Mhm.
It really does not take long.
You can do a raffle again.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
Do we want to do the food, the lunch thing at orientation like we did for fall of last year? I think if we do it, it would have to be maybe in a little bit more of an intimate setting.
That's what
Mm.
or even not GA office when we were talking about
Mhm.
there's a group of people in there kind of talking
Mhm.
about that recently, and that was the suggestion was
I will say,
figuring out something that's not like the
Not at the
huge
cafeteria.
because everyone just kind of
mhm.
parted and then came back and then parted,
Yeah.
so it was really hard to actually do like a,
Yeah.
Right.
hey, let's talk about stuff.
I will say though, I've met,
Program.
I did meet subsequently then about 3 different people I had online classes with going through the rest of the semester. So it was a really nice opportunity to kind of blend. So I like that idea of trying to have, hey, if you're interested in LISSA or just meeting other students, stay after orientation to do lunch. And I don't know if we want to pay for it. That was nice, but I don't know how
If
we.
we don't pay for it, there'd be less.
I think so too.
Enthusiasm.
Why don't you box lunches and sit out in the courtyard?
I think that would be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It just has to go through.
It just has to go through the
It has to go
university.
through the university
And-
since our money is in the account.
And is there a time period? I'm always
Yeah.
very leery about the time periods now.
you have to
8
re- you have to request it pretty far in advance. So
Okay.
I would say,
Or maybe 16.
given that it's summer, I would at least request by the end of June, probably.
Okay.
I don't know when is Welcome Day. Probably
August.
I presume before
is the
school
first-
starts, right?
yeah, it's
So
the first Saturday before school starts.
yeah. So yes, I would say we probably need to kind of get that in the works and have that requested.
I mean, do we like that idea?
But that
Do-
does kind of
do-
mean we need to have a head count though, right? If we're
Usually
requesting,
you
so
give them a head count a few days.
okay.
I mean,
And
you wanna
just
give
kind
them
of
a
generally,
ballpark.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can probably go off what we had last year because I think we kind of had a general from last year.
Yeah, I like that idea though.
Yeah,
Should I email
And
Fred to see if he knows the date?
Oh yeah.
Or have
Yeah,
an idea?
that would be great.
Do you know any numbers?
Look at
that
you,
would be
Kelly.
great.
Always
that
thinking.
would be great. Yeah, so I guess that's another like kind of a side question. I guess that we can kind of just we don't have to have a real discussion on it, but just to be like thinking about too is we do have money like in the budget. I don't remember right off the top of my head. I want to say we have like $800 or so in there, which we can spend on stuff as we want. But we currently are not bringing in any kind of funding at all, right? We're not taking dues. We're not like doing any kind of fundraising or anything. So
Right.
we can be spending money on things like this. But I remember the Welcome Day lunch last year was about $200. So if it's around the same, there's
Right.
only so many of those kind of things we can do before money runs out and we need to do fundraising. So we need to decide whether we're going to, which per like ALA, if you're a member of ALA, then you do not have to pay dues to be a member of LISSA, is what I understand. So we can charge dues to students who are not a member of ALA. Then that's kind of hard to keep track of too. So
Does ALA
Just to kinda
siphon the
think- just
money
to kinda
back
think
to
about.
the organization, or how does
No.
that work? Okay. Oh,
No.
Okay. All right.
no, no.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is fundraising
so-
difficult? Like, are there lots of rules and regulations with
Not-
university? Or
not
is it just a matter of
necessarily.
Classic
Not-
society has a bake sale. Like
Oh,
So I was gonna say, maybe
yeah.
like a book sale or a book sale, like those.
I
things.
love that
Oh.
idea.
Book sale.
We were like,
Yeah.
No, there's
So-
there's like all kinds of fundraisers you can do on campus and stuff. I mean, if you're gonna do it in a public place on campus, I think you just have to like sign up for the space and stuff and let them know that's what you're doing basically. So
and give them a count of the money, but they'll give it
Right.
anyway because
because you have to
That's where
deposit
you're
it into
putting
your
the money.
account. So right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's totally if we want to look into some fundraising opportunities for next year, we can definitely do that.
I have one suggestion that I really want.
Mhm.
I want a T-shirt.
Mm.
We used to do
We had
a
t-shirts.
T-shirt every year that was kind of, would usually be funny or timely
Yeah.
or something, and you sell them.
Mhm.
Because we can't use state money for any kind of clothing,
Oh,
so
Alright.
we can't really make LIS T-shirts, but it would be fun to have one.
but we could potentially take like pre-orders,
Right.
right?
You
and
get,
then
you go to
use
a
that
place,
to buy.
they'll make you one,
Mhm.
and then take
There's the,
pre-orders.
There's a place on Tate Street that does shirts for a lot of the departments around here, and they do a pretty good job.
So we could even do like a slogan, like
Mhm.
submit your slogan and like vote on it if we really
Oh.
wanted to get like.
That's a cute idea.
I'm taking that off WFDD. but it really works for them, so it might be fun because there's some. I'm sure as librarians we could think of some witty librarianisms.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good idea. We could, yeah. Yeah, so we could do that and then sell T-shirts too. And that's an idea too. Like print some T-shirts up. We can even sell them to make $5 a shirt or something. Right?
Mhm.
So
I think last year we sold them for 15.
Oh, look, check that out.
It'd
Think
kinda
big,
cool
Lily.
To know that the people who are coming to orientation could buy one.
Yeah.
Give you an
Oh,
order
yeah, if you
there.
wanted to have
oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
That's
when they sign up for orientation, be like, do you want to have lunch or do you want to have a T-shirt? Yeah. Lunch is free. T-shirts cost $15. Okay, let me write this. Write this down. Okay. Okay, and then so we already. Okay, we skipped ahead a little bit, so we covered a few things. We already, I think, kind of introduced new officers, other than LaQuanda, new secretary. She's not here right now, but she will be in the future. And we'll get that all updated, I think, on our website and everything too. And then we have Mike Crumpton here from NCLA, who wanted to give us some information about the NCLA conference coming up in the fall and maybe some other activities or news or NCLA related things.
You got 2 pages worth.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
No, and I don't know if you have a document sharing
Mhm.
ability here. So on this, I got a handout that I've passed out to the folks in the room, and I'm going to start with the one that's got the logo across the top, the side that's got the logo. That's our conference theme. This is the 62nd biennial for NCLA. We do every other year conferences, and then the off year we do other things like the Leadership Institute and a wide variety of programming through the sections and stuff. This year's conference, though, I think is going to be a lot of fun, and not that the others haven't been, but we've got a few things that are a little bit different. Our keynoters who are going to be coming this year are Lucinda Nord, who's the executive director of the Indiana Library Federation, and she has a strong background in nonprofits and has worked with a lot of community organizations. So we're expecting her to kind of bring in that public library aspect to this to the conference. John Gant is going to be our Ogilvy lecturer, which is on Thursday, and he's the new dean of the Library Studies program at Central. And Kevin House is an architect who actually is part of the group that has put together the new Central Library in Forsyth County. Is anybody from Forsyth County here? I mean, that's been a big project going on
I've
for a
heard
long
about
time.
it. Seen it.
So the significance there is that in 2013, we had the conference in Winston, and we went to Forsyth County Central Library for the all-conference reception. And since then, that building has been torn down and now replaced. They're expecting to open this summer. So we'll have the all-conference reception in the new facility 4 years later. So it'd be kind of cool. They're also renovating the Benton Convention Center, which is very nice. It's not a lot of structural stuff. It's a lot of cosmetic stuff. They got carpeting and wall treatments all through the building now. So we've done a site visit. It's very nice. And then the programming part of that, which we were talking a little bit about before, the call for proposals closed today. We're going to have 80 concurrent sessions, and we're going to have a new student track, which is not part of those 80. That's a separate. And that's what's on the other page, other side. And the student track is an idea that's been generated from NCLA's membership is typically running 20 to 25% students, which is great. And what we want to do is invest some more time and effort into nurturing the students in all the library schools that we have across the state. You guys are going to have an advantage because you're closest. But this is a draft schedule, and the Thursday date of the conference, which is the 19th, is meant to be the biggest day. I mean, it typically is anyway. But we're going to run this conference track to the side of everything else going on and kind of intermingle it with the Ogilvy lecture, the vendor activities, and then the all-conference reception that night. What's different about the student track is it's a flipped concept. So, we get students involved in other ways, and typically that's giving opportunities to present and things like that. But this is flipped so that the new Student Relations Committee in NCLA assessed the groups in all the different library schools and came up with a set of needs that folks feel they need. And so that's what we're doing here, is creating these sessions where we're recruiting practicing librarians to come in and support giving the presentations to the students. So we'll see how that goes this year, but I kind of expect it to be something that we can continue. Part of what they're doing is, on the side of this, is kind of a data repository of people who are willing to be mentors and advisors for cover letters, resumes, things like that later on. So I think it's a good connection point for students. And I mentioned we want students to get involved in the vendors, for example, not just to go by and see what the giveaways are, but to understand the whole concept of the vendors and negotiating licensing agreements and stuff like that. So this is an opportunity to do that. And of course, the all conference reception will be a lot of fun and a great networking opportunity. And if you'll know that 4:30 that day, that Student Relations Committee is getting back together. So there's an opportunity to be part of that and be part of what it does going forward in terms of programming, and then of course the next conference. So back to the other side, just some other value items. There is an endowment dinner and a pub crawl. The pub crawl idea was started back in 2013, so we've come back to the same venue, and that is a great place for a pub crawl. And a lot of people brought up coffee crawl too, but I think pub crawl won out. So, but the proceeds there go into scholarships. We're also doing a food drive. We started in this biennial a Libraries Build Communities group. Last year they built decorated some of the little houses that you see around for swapping out books. This year we're going to help Forsyth County with their food bank. So we're working with Second Harvest to do a food drive, and we'll have our goal. I'm not sure what's going to be a good goal yet, but to ask people to bring in food or gift cards to grocery stores to help support the food bank in Winston. So that's kind of us giving back to where we have the conference. We shortened the time that the vendors are going to be there, and so because of that, we've created some special events to get people into the vendor area so that their time is not wasted. And so that could be a lot of fun. The call for proposals on posters opens on June 17th. So if you guys are interested in doing a poster, you still have a chance for that. The way we set it up on a timeline is that the proposals close today for programs. The committee will have a month to evaluate them, slot them, and then by the time we open posters, anyone who didn't get in as a program has the opportunity to do a poster proposal. There will be a library school reception. I think that's on Wednesday night. And then we need volunteers. So anybody who wants to get involved, be a part of this, see how it works, now's a good time. And like I said, we're the closest here, so you have an advantage. So any questions?
Who do we talk to about volunteering?
Kathleen Smith over at Jackson is going to be,
Smith.
yeah, she's going to be the volunteer coordinator. But the website, we've been adding more content to the website as we go along. If you go to nclaonline.org, and then under Inform, I think it's conferences, and so we've got the 2017 conference site up. And at Welcome Day, I think what we want to do is talk about new folks coming in and that whole NCLA/ALA joint membership. I don't think you guys get anything out of that. So, but it's a great thing for students coming in to have that joint membership. It is going up after August 31st. Just a couple bucks, but it's a couple bucks. So, but that's we'll tag on to that. What we're doing here with NCLA, so that they can actually people can come as members.
Is the registration fee already set, and is registration, when's that open?
The registration won't open until the 17th of August. If you noticed, all the dates are 17.
Oh, I just got that. Oh my God. Okay.
And there is a student rate, and I want to say it's either 25 or 50. I can't remember, but it's significantly less than the regular. So. Any other questions? Okay.
That's great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll leave. This one might be easier to get up to if you need it. Okay. I'm going to close you along. So.
All right. Bye.
Thank you so much.
All right.
You know, Mike, before I forget about it, maybe we should think about whether I can afford to float some scholarships to NCLA if people can't afford that 25 or 50. So I just wanted, I'm trying to put that in my mind.
It might be something that we could craft like a essay contest or something, you know, or some kind of justification of need or something like that. But yeah, we should talk about that.
Because I would like every student who wants to go from this program to go. So
That'd be great.
we could talk about some creative to do.
That'd be great.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, so I think we've already talked about Welcome Day orientation. So ideas for other events for the fall. I talked to Fati briefly last week, and he had recommended a few things that I thought were good ideas, because we've talked about doing like a social event at some point next year, which I think would be great for students that are on campus. So we can kind of brainstorm some ideas about that. He also suggested that we follow up with not only the resume workshop that we did, he suggested that we try to do the resume workshop again, maybe with a few librarians from different, basically different areas, maybe public, academic, archive, school libraries, and having that maybe both in person and online, or some kind of hybrid to that. He also suggested that I thought was a really good idea that I would mention that that we host webinars, and that they could be run by maybe individual students or groups of students on different things. So like the study abroad experiences, taking courses outside of LIS department, practicums, job searching, what it's like to be a recent graduate, those kind of things. And yes, do you have an idea?
Oh, I was wondering, because is Chase still online? Because
Maybe.
With the resume workshop, because we did stream that. I was wondering if you remembered if there was any presence online,
Oh, how many people?
or if people participated
Mostly in person.
distance.
There were a few students. I remember Jimmy Wilson.
Okay.
He had some questions. I don't know if it was many. There were a few students.
So I know that we did have it as a hybrid
Yeah.
this time.
And it got, I
But I
mean,
wasn't sure.
I think it was well attended, considering we didn't plan it super far in advance. Like, I think if we,
Just the announcement. You could do
yeah.
better with announcing it.
yeah, I think if we
But
publicized
there's
it
a
further
lot of use
ahead.
for that. It was really useful.
Yeah.
The SUA librarians.
I couldn't be there, but I did go back and watch it, and I took like oodles of notes, and I
It's
did.
extremely useful.
Yeah.
For the job
Yeah.
search.
Chase said he thinks that idea is very cool. He hasn't gotten back to me on numbers.
I was wondering if we should adapt what we did, if it needs to be changed. If Lottie had any thoughts.
No, I think you said it went well, but maybe
Okay.
advertising it further
more.
in advance and having some different types of librarians, so that
It's not just
not
SUA.
as specialized, which I think that's great. Like, as kind of a first one, but maybe now that we know how to do it, we can expand it a little more.
And Chase said he thought it was about 5 or 6,
Okay.
which for us
Great.
is very good.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, and then I really like the webinar ideas because one, it doesn't cost any money, and two, it really doesn't, there's really not a lot of manpower that goes into that, right? Like it can be really 1 or 2 people running that. Because WebEx now you can make individual rooms. And so if a student wanted to host a webinar on what their practicum experience was like, or maybe 3 or 4 students want to host it together, they could all share like a WebEx room. Anyone could log on and watch it, and maybe they all talk, over the course of an hour. So, yeah, and that could be kind of run by different students with any different
Are you
ideas.
thinking
So,
like put out a call for proposals over the academic year? Is that what you're thinking?
that's a good
Or
question.
maybe like spearheaded by LISSA members, but encouraging, or something to bring up like when we visit the 600 classes, or what are your
That's
what are some thoughts on
kind
that?
of open.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my main idea. That's what Fatih suggested. I thought it was great. I don't have any plans for how to do it.
Okay.
This is where you come in.
Oh, okay.
No, but I think if we had kind of some ideas for what might be good ones to do, and maybe a general timeline for how often we would like to host these, and then maybe we could put out some feelers for interest. Like we could maybe have students submit submissions or
And
something
I think
like that.
Dr. O, is that in terms of saying on your resume, hey, I hosted a webinar in my, is that,
Sure.
is that just trying to think of a way to encourage students, why they might
Right.
want to be interested in having that experience or in participating in that? Is it
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Well, even
Okay.
public speaking kind of, because I think too, we do it a little bit in the 650 classes and stuff, but I think, even just getting the emails from NCLA and other stuff, there's webinars constantly that you're either attending or you may be hosting. So as a professional going into the world of libraries, you may be, expected, or you may want to host a webinar, help with a webinar. So it might be a good experience down the road too. So, I don't know, I would put it on my resume, but I put everything on my resume. Yeah, so we can, I guess, think about what types of webinars we would like to have, maybe how often we would like to host them, what we'd want it to look like. And is it something, right, where we would want maybe a member of LISSA kind of running, I guess, the webinar, because you're also going to have kind of, you might need a technology person. But I want to make sure we're encouraging distant students as well. If somebody is in Virginia or South Carolina or California or wherever, I want to encourage them to do it too. If they have a webcam and a microphone at home, there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to also run one if they have a good internet connection. And that obviously they should, because they're in our online classes, right? So, I would think that they should be able to participate as well.
I think that the trick will be maybe just giving some examples and saying why they should participate in it. I don't know, I almost feel like it should be kind of something we can promote over the course of a semester, at the beginning of the semester, say we've got X, Y, and Z planned. Planned to, you get what I'm saying?
Sure. Or maybe we
my fear is a week 1, somebody's I want to do a webinar on week 2, and then there's not going to be enough, be able to generate enough interest in that to make it feel.
So maybe we plan dates in advance, but the topic could change. Or we could go ahead and pick, say we want topics on this, this, and this. Send out a call for proposals and try to get people to sign up based on the topics.
Maybe doing a hybrid of that.
Yeah.
Would make the most sense. Sending out a call for proposals just to gauge interest. And also putting on a few samples of similar sorts of webinars might have been. And I would probably want to think about it kind of like you think about a blog, and that you want to have enough content to go forward, because we don't want to start it in September and have a September 1 and October 1 and then nothing. may have people be like, oh, my resume's blank.
Right.
I should do something, and then have like 5 people.
Yeah.
But
Lowest.
so that might be
Mhm.
like kind
Mhm.
of doing,
No more than one per month, she
Oh, one a
suggested.
month.
That's a great idea. Right.
Yeah.
and like saying like kind of like what they have the 17th, like
Yeah.
middle of the month, like LISSA sponsored
Mhm.
webinar. But I think
Sure.
putting out like a call for submission.
And it
might
wouldn't
make sense.
necessarily, I don't know if we want to make it specific dates because that might not work for everyone. It may depend on people's individual schedules. So someone might want to offer one in the afternoon, somebody else may need to do it in the evening, like if they work.
Well, at the
or a
same time,
teacher.
though, I feel making it more consistent makes it
Yeah.
more consistent, right? Like, and I would think like evening
Mhm.
would be preferable,
Right.
not a weekend, obviously, and just.
Right.
I mean, there's also people can record themselves too.
I've also seen a lot of the listers I wound up on this year, like App State, their
Mhm.
program does like typically like a lunch and learn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a
But
bad
it's
idea.
always like
Yeah.
between like 11:30 and 12:30.
Right.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Um,
I attended some
with
last year
lunch with
that-
Lissa.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, sorry.
Um,
It's that creative writing degree.
but if we and if we recorded it and had it posted,
Uh-huh.
you know, then that
Yeah.
and people could watch it later as well.
I think having it as
So-
open to like all
Right.
students.
Mhm.
So maybe
Yeah, it feels
we,
maybe not like spearheaded by
yeah,
LISSA vendors.
Yeah.
But
I
we
think-
could kind of organize.
Mhm.
but I think
Provide a
I think
platform.
just opening it up for proposals, and then because maybe we would, because then say we got 2 or 3 people, like what if you and Hannah both submitted a proposal saying, I want to talk about going to Ireland, right? And then we could say, okay, well, why don't you talk at the same time in October? Well, you know what I mean?
I
But
want
like,
to share with Hannah.
but what if we get really similar things, or you have 2 students that want to talk about their practicum in a school library?
And if you,
You
throw
know,
out a
I mean, it
topic
might
and then
be-
you get multiple, then like to
Yeah.
coordinate like even if it's like even if they're
Yeah.
online students, for example, to coordinate like a WebEx, which I'm
Yeah.
sensing we would host this off of WebEx, right?
Probably,
So,
Because
to-
not everyone might even have an hour of stuff to talk about,
Mhm.
you know. And a lot of webinars that I've attended online, sometimes we'll have 2 or 3 presenters that kind of share responsibility.
I have a question for you. Do you think that there would be any interest in that anybody would even come to a sort of a town hall with the chair?
Oh,
Well, I'll tell you why I ask, because I took in all this data about when people want courses. And I've been trying to figure out a way to communicate back what's possible, what we're doing, what
Yeah.
isn't possible and why. And, you know, just so that people get an answer back to sharing their
Yeah.
feedback on scheduling.
hmm
So for example, I think we're offering 2 additional I scheduled 2 additional morning courses after I got that data.
Mhm.
And then we're really working hard to build a space where blended classrooms will actually work right, rather than being distance in a room. And we're, I don't know. We're just trying to do a lot of different things to respond to that. So, and I didn't know if there would be other issues that people would want to talk with me about, or do you think people just roll their eyes and go, yeah, I don't think so.
I don't have other. I don't know. Like it's not something that I've ever talked to anybody that's done. I like the idea, but I don't know. What do you
I
all
would
think?
probably go to it. Yeah.
I would be there.
Yeah. And I also wonder, like, I don't want it to be one of those things that it becomes more like in person than, like
right. I think
how-
you would still have the hybrid
Mhm.
problem, right? Of making sure that you're doing it in such an environment where people could watch and participate actively online.
Yeah.
You would maybe need somebody like watching a chat box, or have people able to turn on their microphone and talk, and have everyone able to.
Or, I mean, we could just do it exclusively online, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do whatever.
For sure.
I like that idea.
I do too, actually.
The only thing I want to avoid is it becoming just a
Gripe.
Oh,
a gripe
yes.
session and anger
Right.
release.
Right.
so
Yeah. Mm.
because
Right.
that can get, you know, uncomfortable. I mean, a lot of things I simply don't have control
Oh,
over.
God,
But,
yeah.
You know, I mean, I have control over a lot less than I have control of.
Right.
But I think there's a lot that, I mean, people might want to talk about that isn't just angry.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would.
Like a state of the department.
I mean, maybe, maybe.
I mean, it wouldn't need to be super often, you know. I mean.
Yeah. Oh no, I just mean like once in the beginning of the semester,
Yeah.
maybe, and it would give me a chance to talk about the scheduling. It would give me a chance to, tell everyone about things that are going on in the department, and then maybe there could be time for talk back and actually, if we did it all online, there are microphone mutes if people I'm kidding.
And Lois is saying that her online participation experience in hybrid environments has been positive. So, I mean, right there is a vote. And Chase is saying, I like the idea of knowing that someone is really being attentive to the needs of the whole department. Having that face of leadership would be super cool. And he likes that. He says, yes, YAS, state of the department. We can make you a presidential seal or something.
Yes. Fireside chat.
That would be awesome. I like Lois says she agrees. Yeah, I think that would be, and I think, and it would be a good way for new students coming into the program to get a sense of where the program is at and where it's hoping to go. I like that idea.
Oh, also too, we really have to start thinking about accreditation. It would be a chance for me to prime people on that.
Yeah.
Because I really need a chance to talk with students about how accreditation works, what it means. There was a situation at the University of Missouri where the accreditors came. They met with a small group of students who just happened to be an angry, vocal small group of students, and they lost their accreditation,
which sucks.
Which is not in anybody's interest.
No.
So it's not that I'm telling people you can't be honest, but we need to talk to people about how important this is, and if you have really serious concerns, the place for them is for you to come to us and talk to us, and let's work them out. Before we lose our accreditation over something that
could be solved earlier.
So this is something you'd be interested in doing fall of 2017, correct?
Early on.
I was gonna say, like, what are you thinking, like early on in the semester?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not the first week.
Right.
Maybe like the first week in September.
Yeah, it's about October because then people are starting to.
The week after Labor Day.
Once people are, they're kind of settled in, but not freaking out yet.
Yeah.
So we could put an agenda out. Maybe that would attract people. So you know, scheduling, a lot of people would probably come just to talk about scheduling.
And if we knew far enough in advance to plan it, if you wanted to do it all online, I think that would be fine. But if you wanted to make it a hybrid, seeing about getting stone. Because it's kind of set up like the UN a little bit with the mics, and
everybody has a mic at their seat.
and it comes with a tech guy ready to go.
Actually, that's a change that we made from the feedback that you all gave us. Is all the classes will be held in Stone and Bryan until we get our own. We're actually building our own hybrid classroom.
Awesome,
super exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be. You can just walk in and talk, and the camera will follow whoever's talking. Everybody will be mic'd from the ceiling. So it will be like the virtual people are in the room with you.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, I think there's support for that.
Yep.
Is there any interest in, I mean, because we're like so much online, people on the job market don't necessarily have the same level of experience I do in-person presentations to groups. Is there any interest in making opportunities for that? I mean, I understand like the need, I mean, the desire to do all these webinars and everything, but I think it can be a big issue for people. I don't know, probably the people in the school library program get practice, but I'd say like people in the academic track. And you know, I had my information literacy class was asynchronous online. Which I hope won't continue to be the case, but so yeah, I mean that's a concern that I have.
Right, because then going into
And
You know.
and it could be, that students, I mean, part of this is a student initiative, it could just be informal, like you make an informal space, for people to present or to teach, practice teaching, informally and give, really nice, I mean, positive, pleasant
I
feedback.
think that's a good, like a Toastmasters kind of.
Is that what that's called?
Right,
Like
where you,
yeah,
where you
you're right.
just-
I never
where
knew
you
that.
just
Yeah,
go
that's-
talk, you just
right.
practice public speaking, and it can be, you can talk about whatever you want.
I mean, and it
Mhm.
could potentially that whole idea could potentially be tied into webinars. I mean, as well. I mean, giving a presentation and
Right.
um,
Right, but we could do in person as well.
yeah. I mean, there. I don't think there would be anything.
Mhm.
But there is different, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're in a group, if you're,
Right.
I mean, I was just on a job interview, if you're in a classroom with 30 people, it's a different experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
cow,
than
yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
doing a
Yeah.
webinar.
Right.
It's a very different experience.
I mean, I may,
In some ways, it's a different type of presentation, and you can do basically the same content, but
yeah,
what you have to what you have to do to be effective is different.
right. I mean, I don't know as far as like equity is concerned with online students, but for me personally, like I feel like as long as we are offering programs and initiatives that online students can participate in, that it's okay to also offer some things that are on campus. I don't know if everyone else feels like similarly about that, because then it just doesn't seem 100% practical to make everything hybrid based.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could be like if we do something like that where you're in person, we could certainly record it and post it on YouTube. In case people wanted to watch it later, I don't know, but that might make it.
Part of the issue is just building confidence, providing a
Right.
space. So I mean, some of this, I mean, you want to like
Right.
have a space where it's not going to be publicized.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to not do something for in-person people simply because online people couldn't do it, and
Yeah.
thereby letting nobody do it.
Right.
That just
Right.
doesn't
Right.
make sense.
And
Right.
a lot of, or at least some
Right.
of the online students are local.
Local, anyways.
to the
Yeah.
That's true.
region, so it's like they can
That's true.
still come to campus, or they just can't come to campus classes, right?
No, they can come.
They could even come to. I think some
Oh, they can enroll
professors.
in
Yeah. Could-
Okay.
Could.
But yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's still, if something's
A lot of
on
the online
campus, it's not
students
exclusive.
Just it's that they work full time, and so they don't come on campus, and so it's but a lot of
And-
them work in Greensboro.
And Lois says, of course, sounds fair coming from an online student.
I'm an online student.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, I can get
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea as well. And then,
I mean, I'm not even to be here, but that's just.
Jeez, Ethan.
you can come back and give some speeches to us.
There are, how shall I say, challenges of having most of your classes online.
Mhm.
There are
That's true.
differences.
Mhm.
If you're going to be expected
Yeah.
to mostly teach in person,
Mhm.
on the job,
Mhm.
it's going to be different.
Speaking
That's
of
very
on the
true.
job, I've always thought that I was going to try to get together, because I know there's a lot of concern about this in the profession, like a dozen local librarians who would agree to hold practice web interviews,
God, yes.
virtual interviews, because now almost every single person has to go through a virtual interview to get to an in-person interview. And
Mhm.
it's a whole different thing, just like you're saying. Well, no matter what your environment, it's different. And
Mhm.
it would be cool to hold a cup, like I don't know,
Mhm.
a round of practice interviews for
That would be
potential graduates.
would
Which
be
would
really
tie
great.
really nicely with what I think Fati was saying about this resume
Yeah, with
workshop and
Career
reworking
day.
career day and reworking
Yeah.
it maybe a little bit.
Mock interviews.
Mock
too.
interviews,
Mhm.
like going forward. Maybe even, depending on how much time we're working with and the time of year we're doing it, maybe even breaking it out to sessions or depending on the
Well,
time.
could do job talks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. We could. If we tried to work it all into like a career day type of thing, like I know we do the career day, but sometimes I feel like it gets a little lost in with the alumni day.
Yeah, we actually don't want to do it that way anymore. Or I don't. I haven't had a chance to talk to Dr. Hertzberger about this, so it's between you and me.
And the internet. Just remember, and the internet.
But we're not recording this.
Yeah.
No one tell Dr.
Dr. Hertzberger, don't listen.
But we really want to move Career Day to fall
Mm-hmm.
and have that alumni morning be what I have envisioned is an alumni student expo.
Ooh.
So if we know of a couple alumni who are doing these really cool things, or a couple students who have done these really cool things,
Mhm. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
like a project for study abroad. And that way it's appealing to alums who are coming in for lunch, because really Career Day was not for alums.
Right.
Which one was Career Day? That was part of the core poll.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Mhm.
So that was the second day, the early
Yeah.
session.
Yep.
Okay. Was the Career Day part.
Yeah, and I
When
just
some
don't,
people were at workshops here.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't think it just didn't fit. Plus, really, if you're graduating in December, obviously, but also if you're graduating in May, you're probably
little
thinking
late.
about this a lot more in October, November, December.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna
Mhm.
suggest you
As
have
far as-
more of those sessions earlier.
Mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
we had this resume workshop and information session, whatever, on
Mhm.
from the school that people did, and it was also really late as well. So I would suggest that we have them like staggered or at least earlier.
What if you had a whole Saturday where it was like a career
Yeah.
day and you
Mhm.
had some presentations? Yes, but what if we could find local librarians who would volunteer to sit in rooms and do mock interviews, or sit in line and do mock virtual interviews? And
Well, if it was a whole day thing too, I also know a lot of distant students that would
Like,
come to that if it was
yeah.
like on a weekend and it was a whole day event.
I mean, I might could
Yeah.
come up with some money to buy
Mhm.
lunch or something
Mhm.
like that.
Would there be a way to incorporate? I know it was Kristen had like with the school library track, there was a school library like job fair essentially this spring.
There was
Guilford
a
County.
there was a
came-
school of
Has
education.
LIS ever done
but
like
there-
that? The school of education, from what I've heard,
There
doesn't
wasn't.
really
There
have
weren't really
library.
any library
jobs.
people at that. I went to it. There was the only library person at it.
That's an interesting thing. I don't know.
But so I'm not sure if
Yeah.
LIS department's done it before, if it's just not a
Because
thing that
school
can be
library
like a
interviews are
job
kind of a
fair
different
sort of
ballgame
thing.
from.
Well, I tell you why
Yes.
career fair might work for school librarians where it wouldn't translate is that if you have a big school district, they're almost always looking for someone.
Mhm.
And on the other side,
Yeah.
if you have a specific job and you
Yeah.
have to know at that specific moment. So I'm not sure that works as well, but I mean, if we ask local librarians to volunteer to do this, I know tons of them who say they would love to do
Mhm.
something like that.
That's networking too. You're then meeting
Right.
people too.
They
Right?
will hire somebody someday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah, something to kind of like make it more, like less panel talk and more like interactive. Where you can actually like, meet people.
Well, we could do like when I went to that career fair for the School of Ed, they had one where it was a panel discussion where they were asking questions of all the different people, but then they had mock interviews in different rooms, and they didn't have enough time that everybody got to mock interview, but they kind of split people into rooms based on like their grade level or interest or whatever. So you could have like, school library interviews in here, or academic library interviews in this room, and people could kind of go where they were interested, I guess.
And we could
and you maybe
actually
could even
really-
get a principal to come, not even just a school librarian, because a school librarian is not going to be doing the interviews. That's going to be a principal probably. So
or the school media coordinator if we couldn't get
Yeah.
a principal.
Right.
But because she would know what they're looking for.
Right.
I'm thinking principals might
there,
we
yeah.
can get them to show up for anything, but that's also not on the internet. It's not being recorded, right?
It's
It
live
is being
streaming.
recorded?
It's live streaming on Google Hangouts.
It's live streaming, but you're recording it?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
YouTube.
It's-
Okay, well.
That's all right. That's all right. Gives you character, Dr. O.
But I mean, it seems like I agree. It seemed like you had a big Saturday and you had some really interesting things like that. And if we took applications, I mean, obviously we'd have to ask people to register for things like the interviewing components. You could ask them when they plan to graduate, and you could prioritize people
Right.
who plan to graduate.
Yeah.
sooner than that.
Yeah.
People could sign up if they wanted to do a mock interview, basically. Right.
I think that would be really good. From the conference, it was a weekend, a few weeks back. A couple of the students that were saying, or not students, but attendees towards the back, they were recent, like 3 or so years out grads. And I think that they were kind of thinking there would be more opportunity to talk just from like the lunchtime conversation happening. But they were talking about looking for jobs and like hoping to like meet people.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so maybe that's
not
something.
even just like current students, but also alums on the market.
Yeah, so I mean, that's one thing we could do, a networking lunch. Any of the professional librarians who were there, we could have them make sure that they kind of spread themselves out. That could just be time just for just socializing and.
Well, they weren't looking for them, they were looking for like job opportunities.
Right, but I mean, this would be socializing with professional, with local librarians.
Who might know of job opportunities.
Just professional networking. Because I think, well, I'm just taking your point that I don't think filling up every single minute with people talking is necessarily the thing we really want to do. I mean, we might have one panel and make all the rest of it interactive.
Yeah.
Or we might want to have a few breakout sessions where some recent people who got jobs are talking. We could have a resume consultation.
You could have different sessions going at different times, and people could sign up for what they want to go to.
Yeah. And on a Saturday, I think that would open it up to a lot more people.
Right.
Depending on what the sessions were, you could open up opportunities to lead it to current students or recent alums also.
Oh, we wouldn't even just have to have librarians. We could ask for volunteers. Actually, they have several staff in the Career Center who do this kind of thing. They could come over and help out.
That's
Do some in-person mock interviews, and then we could line up some people for virtual interviews.
Yeah. Right, because some interviewing techniques don't even necessarily need to be library specific.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I think we have a lot of good ideas for events for the fall.
Can I say one last thing? What you need to do though for some of these, if you want space, like for a big career day on a Saturday, the one thing you need to do is get that space reserved. That's the thing that fills up really, really fast.
So that's the kind of thing I'm thinking is that.
Sorry.
Well, I feel like waiting to start planning these things until August might not.
Yeah, it won't work.
That's not going to work. So we don't have to decide this right this minute, but I feel like it might be in our best interest to create some planning committees, maybe, for some different events. Because I think maybe having the entire board and live streaming and doing a full LISSA meeting for planning every single event we have might be a little much. But if we had a committee of 2 or 3 people for each event, and maybe got a faculty member of the committee, or something, a group of people to plan each thing, and then they could invite the meetings. That might be a little easier and go quicker.
Yeah.
Than trying to organize all of us getting together.
So let me.
And then we could open it up to other. It doesn't have to be board members. If there's other students who are interested in helping plan something like this, a career day or webinars or fundraisers or whatever. We could send out I don't know if we want to send out some kind of sign up something or other. I don't know.
So these are the events that I've written down. So we're talking about a welcome day. We're talking about a fundraiser. We've talked about a social event. I'm gonna kind of put prison books and all that. I'm gonna put like a community
involvement.
Community
Or
outreach and thing. We've talked about kind of trying to support NCLA. We've talked about webinars / workshops, student-led or recent alumni-led. And we've talked about a town hall with the chair. And then I'm going to put the resume workshop in that, like we talked about a career day.
And like a Toastmasters.
Okay, and a Toastmaster. I'm going to look at that later and be like, toast.
My sister-in-law does that.
That's fine. Are we talking about all of these fall?
I think that sounds like too much for one.
That sounds like a lot for fall.
It really does.
I think so. The
And
town
then
hall
have
would definitely be a fall.
this
Yeah.
Before accreditation, so town hall's fall.
So yeah, let's priority.
Let's prioritize.
Fairly fall is what you were saying, but that conversation hasn't happened yet
Yeah, I
about
mean,
breaking things out.
yeah, but it will happen.
Okay.
It'll be all right. I think it could happen
Late
or
fall.
I mean, I suppose it could happen early winter, although, yeah.
I'm going to throw
I think
this.
that's up to you.
So community outreach, if they're already collecting food for NCLA, I know it's Forsyth County second harvest. I know that might be a way to piggyback off of that. Like you collect food that we can then donate at NCLA as like a group. Or do we want to stick with
Not
books?
connected to career.
No, this is sorry.
So as a community
This is
outreach
for the
event.
62nd NCLA. They're doing the food drive for libraries, build communities. I'm just trying to think to kind of combine some things if we want to still try and make like a token, like we're interested in also be involved in our communities, just to piggyback on that. That might be something to consider as well, or we can still pursue that.
Like
Or
collecting here to take to NCLA or collecting here to donate locally. And go
we
over
could do it if we thought the issue if it would be an issue between Forsyth versus Guilford County, considering UNCG is in Guilford County, to do locally, or if we had a contingency going to NCLA to donate like on behalf of UNCG, like we, supporting. It's just an idea, but just trying to think of some ways to combine some of these things. But I'm hearing like number one would be like the town hall with the chair for fall.
And then the
career-
student welcome day,
Student welcome day.
That has
which
to happen in the fall.
if we're doing t-shirts as a possible fundraiser, that
Yeah,
would get
so wrapped up into that. Okay. And NCLA, that's already happening in the fall.
If you sold t-shirts, you could bring them to NCLA too. 'Cause you could put them in our booth. We can
So-
sell them for you.
Is there going to be there? Then?
Yeah, we'll have a
LIS.
Another thing to just think about is when I went to the meeting for all the heads of student organizations, there is I'll have to look at the requirements again, but you can work to be considered like a student group of excellence on campus, and there's several different requirements for it. One of them being, I think you have to participate in some kind of activity. You have to do a certain amount of community service hours, I think, among your people in your group. So NCLA maybe would count for that if we volunteered, had enough people volunteering. And then also there's you have to do some like collaborative event with other groups on campus throughout the year. So we could potentially look into other student groups and maybe do some kind of community outreach in the spring with another student group. We could see what other groups maybe already have something they're planning that we can kind of piggyback off of or help with, or I don't know if there's other groups on campus that, would align well with what our goals are. So
It does seem like putting a box out, because I've seen boxes in the lobby of this building before. Like that would be the easy, low action that, depending on how much was donated, it would be a matter of getting it
right.
to
Yep.
NCLA donor.
Chase has to go. He says bye, everyone.
Bye,
Good
Chase.
job. Very
Bye.
productive meeting.
But I like the idea of maybe seeing what other student groups. I don't even know what other student groups are out there.
yeah,
But
there's a lot of them.
especially if there's something
Yeah.
with like the webinar or something that's like a more like education or
Yeah.
outreach or experience, like the talking and presenting.
Oh,
would
yeah.
pair well with
Another
other
group.
groups. So you'd also be getting other perspectives.
Right.
Well, and yeah, and the more you take advantage of things that exist, the less work
Yeah.
it is for you, and the more
Exactly.
likely it is you're actually,
Yeah.
gonna be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that might be something. I'm just trying to think of what of these things can we push to the spring.
I would recommend pushing
So-
webinars to the spring, or at least like as
Mm.
getting that going in fall, because if we're gonna email for like a possible
Maybe-
slogan for
maybe
a
have
t-shirt, like, we need
proposals.
to figure out
Yeah.
Yeah.
how many email blasts are reasonable
true.
to send
Yeah.
between now and August.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna do the t-shirt as an orientation day possibility, like that's gonna be one blast if we're looking
Right.
for like student contributions.
Yeah.
And then what else would be going out? Like the town hall would be like
Mhm.
advertised probably
Yeah.
over the summer before orientation to let
Yeah.
students know what was happening. If it was like happening in September, I imagine.
So we could.
we
So
could start
maybe
working on that one.
maybe
in the
mid
fall
fall
for-
or so we could submit like a call for proposals, and then we could start putting together dates for the spring. You know, toward the end of the semester, and that way by like the beginning of the spring semester we could have a published list of like here's the dates and here's what the topics are going to be. And if we don't have it immediately, then we don't have it immediately, and it waits a little longer.
So,
This is just a small thought. If we did the town hall, I could try to do it at the time where you're thinking you might want to do the webinars, and we could sort of say, okay, now we'd like to have more things like this at this time, and you'll get more information about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what else is on the list that we haven't kind of allocated? Oh,
Is
more
that-
than your list.
is that all?
Did we-
Oh,
All the events.
career day. When it seems, I like the idea of doing a Saturday. That seems like a lot of planning. I think obviously having like a planning committee would be like essential for that. And I agree. I think having it early in the year is preferential to having it late in the year,
Mhm.
but there's also a lot of, again, it's the
I
same.
think you also, well, yeah, and we just need to think about looking at dates for the fall. It would need to be, probably after NCLA, but
Mhm.
before Thanksgiving maybe, because you also don't want it to be right around exams.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Timing wise,
What's homecoming week?
unless we did it really early in, and it's usually in October, early October maybe. I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not sure if there's any utility in access in doing it that week, because I'm not sure how many people
Mhm.
really. But
Oh, having it like on homecoming. Yeah. But then you're also competing with like all the fun activities that are going to be over in the homecoming.
are there activities?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, there's like a parade and there's free stuff and like there's carnival,
Music
like
and concerts and carnival rides and
I missed that.
Yeah.
last year.
it's a whole
You
thing.
know, I might have been gone actually.
Hmm.
'Cause there's a lot of library conferences.
It's not like
And
A&T's
also-
homecoming, but it's still pretty fun.
yeah, no, it's not easy.
Is there homecoming right now?
It's
Oh,
crazy.
People come from all over the country, like thousands of people. Like my husband just skipped class last year because he was like, I'm not going to campus.
It's a lot
It's
of
not
people.
even worth going near there at homecoming.
Well, they have a football team, right? That makes it a big difference.
It's
Yeah.
We don't
It's-
have one.
We don't have one.
it's like, yeah,
We've got a Quidditch team though,
yeah.
and battle canoes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We do a battle canoe.
They should make homecoming actually during
Basketball season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's sports.
Basketball's really big sport.
Yeah.
The teams get really.
Homecoming this.
They usually have a
coming year
soccer
is this
game.
weekend.
Oh.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
They usually have a soccer game at homecoming.
Okay, soccer team.
Well, how about February?
For a career day.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I don't think there's a whole lot going on in February, is there? Yeah, that would be
like
reasonable. It'd give us January to really nail
plenty of
down
time to
independent.
plan, right? Mm-hmm.
I like that idea.
Right.
And then.
I just don't want to be super
yeah,
rushed,
the
you know.
other thing is in April, so it's sort of spaced out enough.
Mhm.
that-
Mhm. Yeah.
And that also frees up some stress of trying to book like a space and stuff.
In the fall, right. I feel like we're gonna run out of Saturdays, and yeah, I don't want to run into, especially if we want potentially like distance students to come. I don't want to have it like the weekend after in CLA, and they will have already just come for that potentially, right? So
We just can't go into March because that's accreditation visit, and we will be not with you anymore. Glazed over eyes.
well, we can shoot for
Like
early
the body
February.
snatchers.
Early February.
So I'm happy to work with a
Okay.
group on that because the first thing we need to do other than get space is start contacting
Get people.
who would
Yeah.
volunteer for this because they'll want to know.
Right.
I'm happy to work with a group who wants to work on that.
Okay.
That way I can also facilitate you getting the space and we can
Yeah.
look to see if I have money to offer people lunch or whatnot.
Okay.
Well, I'll be happy to work on that, like committee too. That sounds like fun. Yeah, and we can also send out because also the next thing on my agenda is student representatives for a bunch of different committees. So, yeah, so we may need to send out kind of a call for help for
Okay.
committee members.
Out to the listserv.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
So, some of these are more
What have you got?
4. So just the faculty, curriculum, student welfare, and the admissions.
Yeah.
And these are committees within LISSA or?
No faculty committees. They're faculty committees that they like to have a student representative at the meetings. So we just need like 1 or maybe 2 people on each one. And it doesn't even have to be the same person every time, but just it'd be nice if there was like 1 or 2 people that said, I'll be the representative for this. And then as long as like 1 person could go each time. Or if you were the representative, you'd be responsible for like finding somebody to go in your place if you weren't able to go in any given month.
The faculty
So-
meeting is the most regular. All the others will
Yes.
be very periodic.
Yeah. And that one's every month. I think on a Friday for 2 Friday morning. I feel like that will probably end up being me going to that or maybe Kelly.
I work Fridays.
That'll probably end up being me.
Are you saying, Lily, that it's not fun?
I mean, I can
No, it's fine. I'm
maybe
just
go
usually off
Friday, but
Fridays.
Friday is my normal.
I think that's what she's saying.
No, I just prefer to be in my pajamas on Friday morning.
The truth comes out in your pajamas.
We used to hang yoga out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind doing the faculty committee, and I already told Dr. Chow that I could do the curriculum committee, which I think meets right before the faculty committee usually. So it's just all in one. But we do need if we could get additional people to say they could help out with those on occasion, that would be great. And then somebody for the admission and recruitment committee, which will meet probably a few times at the beginning of the year. Dr. Bird's the head of that currently. And not very regularly after that. And then I don't know the schedule for when that'll meet. And then the student welfare committee, we need 1 or 2 people for that. But it meets like very occasionally, like maybe once or twice a year, really only to kind of plan the alumni lunch and occasionally if there's like a student grievance that needs to be addressed. Dr. Hirschberger heads up that currently, though those the chairs of those may change.
Well, I think a good idea would be to send this out.
And see if there's any volunteers.
See if there's any volunteers, and then kind of. Is there a deadline
Yep.
when you have to have all of these?
No. Fatih had kind of asked if we could know by the beginning of the year. That would be
Oh,
By the
like
beginning
the
of the fall.
academic year.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So nothing urgent. So at some point, yeah. So
If
What-
we send it out, we can put a deadline on it. though.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to get-
Yeah.
So what we may want to do is maybe kind of put together a list of things we could use LISSA members to be involved with, like volunteer opportunities or involvement opportunities, maybe, and then send out, I don't know, like a Google form or something, or even just have people email back saying like, I'd be willing to help with, something.
Well, and-
Google form would be fine, and then they could just check a box saying like, I'm willing to help with the curriculum committee, or willing to help plan career day, or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I was thinking, like as part of that
Right.
planning. I like the planning committee idea,
Yeah.
and then kind of it's
And then people could choose what they're interested in.
right, and be more. They could feel more actionably involved within the organization.
Right. And then if we have, we can kind of assign people. And then the only other thing on here I think is a faculty advisor for the fall, which is kind of one of two things. Either if we have a certain faculty member that we really would like to work with, where we can approach, from what I understand, we can approach that person and ask them, and if that's okay, then Dr. O'Connor can approve that, or we can ask Dr. O'Connor to appoint somebody to that responsibility.
And we've got.
So unless you already have,
So you guys can talk about that.
So,
Thanks, Dr.
yes.
O.
So thank you for being here.
Thanks for coming.
I'm gonna get you guys a syllabus. We're trying to iron out a few more details.
Oh, okay. All right.
I promise.
I
It's
look
coming.
forward to it.
It's coming before Saturday. You will have it.
All right, no worries. Thanks, Dr. O.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a particular, because we're supposed to really have a different faculty member each year, a faculty advisor. It's supposed to rotate so that different people are
I
working
mean,
on different things.
I'm not
So-
partial. I think having Dr. O signed one is just as effective. Do we want to
So-
continue live streaming this part of our conversation, or do we want to?
Yeah, maybe we
Okay.
can probably call it into the meeting. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna call into the live
Yep.
stream. Does anybody
6:30.
online have anything they would like to add? Like a minute or two for delay.
While we're waiting on that, so right now, as far as like committee decisions go for next year, do we need to make any?
Oh, like who's on the committees themselves?
Yeah,
We
like,
can.
you
We
can
haven't.
Are
Yeah.
we tabling that, we're gonna send out, people can sign up, is that the?
Yeah. I need to.
Yeah, when do we want to send that out?
Well, I figure I'll send them. I'll have to watch this live stream again to get all of our notes.
Yeah, right.
So let me just put that up. All right. I don't have anything on the
Sorry,
live
this meeting is
Okay.
really
I
long,
was
you
just gonna
guys.
remind us time for the
Yeah.
chat and also. make
So
sure.
we're gonna go ahead and end. Thanks everybody for attending online. We're gonna call an end to.
And for the student rep, okay, cool.